Hey everybody, it's Dick again, and we're going to take a look today at the Power Platform Plan Designer, which is now rolling out across to the various regions in preview environment. So what I'm going to walk you through is how to set up a preview environment and how you can try the Plan Designer for yourself for building your own Power Platform business applications. Now, the thing is, most of the time, when I'm building a business application, I meet with the customer, we do some planning, we draw out, we do diagrams, we might use a Miro board, we have a whole different way to create an application before we actually put fingers on keyboard. With this new feature, Microsoft has now given us the ability that we can actually start that process within the Power Apps Designer a lot sooner in the process. So let's dig in, shall we? First off, I went to the Power Platform Admin Center. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a brand new environment to use the Plan Designer in. Let's just start fresh. I'm going to hit new here, just give it a name. You can choose any name you want. I'm just going to call this Plan Designer Demo. We don't need to make it a managed environment if we don't want. Choose a group. I'm just going to put it in my demos group. Now, region. This is, if you're trying this is being recorded in December 2024. Choose United States. Canada, it is not available yet. Usually Canada is the first one to get things, but I guess we're living in an America first world.
America first.
So anyways, United States. Now, this is the other key thing you have to remember. Get new features early. The Plan Designer is only available currently in preview environments, so we need to make sure that we turn this on to yes. We can pick any type, sandbox, developer, production environments. I'm just going to leave it sandbox. We should fill in a purpose. Again, fill in these details so you know what this environment's for. And I'm just going to hit next. Again, just pick the whatever language or currency that you want. I'm just going to choose a security group here. And then we can basically continue. We don't need to enable the Dynamics 365 apps, nor do we need to deploy the sample apps and data. Let's just hit save. And now that's going to create that brand new environment. So that's going to take a few minutes. We'll just keep hitting refresh every few minutes just to see if it's ready, and it's actually ready to go. So next thing we're going to do is now go into make.preview.powerapps.com. All right, so we're now here in make.preview.powerapps.com. I'm on the home page, and if you've created your new environment using the new preview feature, you will see this try the new Power Apps experience up here. Before we hit that, let's do one thing first. I want to go into solutions because I do want to create my own solution. The Plan Designer will give you the opportunity to create your own solution, but at this point, it doesn't allow you to create your own publisher. So what you'd have to do is create your own publisher. So what I'm going to do is just going to create a new solution. I'm going to call this event demo. And I'm going to select a publisher. Now I would go and click a new publisher and I could create that publisher. Of course, that's going to give us the prefix, the description, that kind of thing. I already have a publisher I created, my ReadyXRM publisher. So that's the one I'm going to use. We'll leave the versioning for now and just all the other options, and we'll create that. That's going to create a brand new solution for us. And this is something you can do today. This is just regular Power Apps stuff. You should always create all of your assets within a solution. This is going to help you with ALM and a bunch of other features. All right, so now we have our solution. I am now going to go back into the home page, and now let's turn on this try the new Power Apps experience. Now we see we can create a solution for almost any business problem. And this is where they already have some pre-selected prompts that we could feed to Copilot to begin building out our plan. I'm going to paste in the plan that I put in a prompt I created earlier. I want to create an event management app that will track events, sessions, and registrations. Now, the other cool thing too here is we have this little paper clip icon. We can attach things. Currently, we can only attach diagrams like PNG or JPEGs. I'm hoping in the future that we're going to be able to also upload spec documents, maybe RFPs, RFQs, the type of things we might receive from a customer, or the result of vision documents if we have a workshop with our customer, a whole variety of things. Currently, it's just a PNG file, so let's take a quick look at this. I've created a PNG file of an ERD diagram, very typical of what we might put together if we're working with a customer or something they might provide to us. So here is an ERD diagram for an event management system. We have a user that's going to register feedback. They're going to get a ticket. We have an event that has notifications, those types of things. We're going to feed this diagram into our system as well, just so we can have something else to chew on. All right, so I'm going to attach. Here's that diagram. We've loaded this up, and now let's begin to generate the plan. And immediately this is going to go in and start identifying the business problem and identifying the user roles. So it's going to go through the information and the prompting that we provided to us, provided to it, and begin to build out the plan. And it goes pretty quickly. So the thing is, you see here, it gave basically the thing, it's the title, the event tracker, describe the business problem, and then began to break out the user roles. So here I have things like the event organizer with a bunch of user stories, same type of user stories that you would create in Azure DevOps. Usually that's what we use in my projects, but we would create those user stories that we would use to begin to build out our software. I see here I have the attendee and the speaker and a bunch of things that I want my speaker to be able to do. And here we have some other references here. Here is that ERD diagram. I can like or dislike these particular things. This gives feedback to Microsoft. The other thing I'm going to do is I can go in and change or accept. I'm going to click on change actually. And now on that change, I'm able to go through to any of these particular user roles and make changes. So here I can put in describe what I want to change. So I'm going to put some changes here. I want my speakers also to have the ability to create their own promotional assets as part of this event. So here I put in a new prompt, allow speakers to create and manage session promotional resources. So I'm going to add this, and then that is going to add that to my plan. So I can keep reiterating with this plan with my customers, my end users, whatever you like. And it's going to begin to continue to build the whole plan around this. So it's updated this. We see now that the speaker has the ability. I want to keep this. And that's all good. We can make other changes, like I said, keep reiterating. The other cool thing too is if we take a look to the right, we actually see we have the business problem, nice diagram, and it's broken out into the individual user roles, like an event organizer, an attendee, and a speaker. Of course, we have all the details here, and we can basically accept all of this. And then the next thing it's going to do is start identifying the tables and the columns needed to build our app. Now it's going to take this information and begin to devise a data model, of course, using Dataverse, because this is an enterprise level app. This is the only data source that it's going to utilize. If you're using other data sources, you're going to have to probably make adjustments with this, but that's basically what the plan will do for you. All right, so hopefully after a few minutes, shouldn't take too long. I have noticed in the preview it sometimes does begin to churn and you might have to restart the process. But it has created data, created a bunch of tables, an event, session, registration, makes sense. User, feedback, ticket, notification, promotional resources. So it has created a lot of tables here. Again, I can go back and begin to make some adjustments. One thing that I did notice with this, and I think this is a bit of a drawback currently with the Plan Designer, is it does not utilize existing tables in the common data model. So things like accounts and contacts, activities, it will ignore these for now. I am hoping that in future iterations very soon that it will take into account those particular tables as we build out our plan and not create these for us and duplicate that effort. I'm a big fan of using the common data model, the tables that exist, that helps make these applications compatible with each other and keeping information in one spot. Little thing, but that's just part of the feedback. So if we now take a look, again, I'm going to span this out. We see here we have all our different tables listed. What I can do now is I can go in and show those details. So let's click on the show details. And this is going to generate a big ERD diagram for me with all my different tables. So I can go in and let's kind of rearrange these a little bit. Looks like a little bit of a dog's breakfast. Some of you probably have much better Visio skills or Miro board skills to do this out. But you get the basic idea that it is going to give you an ERD diagram, and we can begin to space those out. Zoom in, zoom out, center, and I can kind of show the map here on this side here. So it's pretty handy. And then once we're actually looking at those tables, so let's look at something like the event table. It's listing the different field names. We can go in, we can view the data as well. It does create a bunch of sample data. This is something also that I really like, because sometimes defining when we're doing testing, having sample data does help visualize exactly what we're trying to do, and that can be a very tedious process. So we can go in here. We can't really at this point begin to edit these information. We're going to have to go into our regular model driven or our regular Dataverse tables afterwards. Same with some of the other table properties. These are all set in stone. I see here it is using the wrong schema name. What I'm going to do there is, let's just go back for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set the solution. And this is something I probably should have done earlier in the process, but to give me a solution name, or I can go in the advanced, choose my publisher, ReadyXRM, or choose an existing solution. So I have that event demo solution. That's the one I'm going to want to use. And then basically once I do that, it's actually going to go through and try to regenerate all those tables. So now let's go back in, take a look. And I'm guessing it hasn't changed anything yet in terms of schema names. It hasn't. That's probably what I should have done sooner. But anyways, we do have, at least you can see here it is generating the tables. And like I said, this is still preview. This isn't perfect yet. And at this point, we really can't do much changes in terms of properties or that kind of thing, or adding new columns, adding new tables. This is something that is, if you've been using the new data modeler designer, that is something that will be incorporated into this eventually as well, pretty sure. So that you'll be able to continue with Copilot and define your tables a little bit further. But for now, this is again preview. Still pretty cool. And it also creates those lookups and relationships between the table. All right, now that we're done this, I am going to accept all of these changes. And the same as with the other things, I could go through and I can make some changes. Maybe I could just go here and say, we don't need the promotional resource table. If I could spell, and then basically it's just going to do the same thing. It's going to make adjustments based on my prompting. All right, looks good. I'm going to keep, basically it's a two-stage process. It's going to keep my changes that I've identified, and it's going to generate those tables. All right, we're now here. We can accept all this. And now the next thing it's going to do, it's going to generate those user experiences. So basically the application. So this is the exciting part. This is the part that we all sort of want to jump into right away. And very quickly, it created an event management app, attendee portal, a speaker dashboard, event notification flow, and a ticket generation flow. So let's take a look at these. Let's zoom out a little bit. And what we have here is an event management. It's a Canvas app, and an attendee portal, which is also a Canvas app. It will not generate a Power Pages site at this time. Again, I'm hoping that will be on the roadmap that will come, because to me, an attendee portal should be a Power Pages site, don't you think? But anyways, we have another speaker dashboard here, a Canvas app, a Power Automate flow, and ticket generation flow. That's kind of interesting. I do want to make some changes here. I do find that if we're going to be managing a lot of data, the event management app really should be a model-driven app. So let's see if we can actually change that. I'm going to say make the event management app a model-driven Power app. All right, we got this. It's basically created this other app. Let's go and take a look. And yeah, it changed my event management app to a model-driven app. That makes more sense to me because we'll be dealing with a lot of data. That's what model-driven apps do really well. Attendee portal, still a Canvas app, speaker dashboard, and event notification, Power Automate flow, ticket generation flow. Let's actually drill down into this a little bit. These all look good. It gives me some interesting tables, things like this. I can, again, I'll just accept this. And it says accepted all the sections. So now I should be able to go in, and again, I can see which table it's using and different things like that. All right, so let's go a step further. Let's, before you do that, we need to save the tables. Ready to do that now. So it is going to prompt me, guide me through this. So again, I want to save this. So now it's saved everything for me, hopefully. So it took a second there to save the tables. Again, we can go and see those details. It did use the default prefix, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have wanted to use my publisher. But now if I can go into that app, it's going to take me into the app editor. All right, so now we're into our model-driven app. And if you've built model-driven apps before, you're very familiar with this interface. We have our different groupings, our different things, all our list of events, and our sessions, registrations, users, those types of things. And we can begin to navigate through this app. We can define different views for that matter. We can even go in and begin to edit some of those forms. Let's take a look at the event form, for example. And these aren't Copilot or plan tools. These are just the regular tools that you have now. But the Copilot, the plan designer, put all of this stuff together for you so you have something that you can begin with. Ideally, this should take out all of the tedious work for you to put some of these apps together in terms of creating tables and forms and views and everything. But you still need to know what you're doing. You still need to want to go in. You probably want to rearrange these forms. You want to add some efficiencies here. You might want to add some business rules. Yes, they still exist, and a few other things as we begin to build out that app. And of course, you might want to bring in some of the common data service tables like accounts and contacts, which the plan designer didn't do. This overall, not a bad attempt to put an app together. And again, it only took me a few minutes using the plan designer. Let's take a look at some of the other apps that it put together. So I'm back into the plan designer. We looked at this one. Now let's take a look at this Canvas app. So here it's generated this Canvas app. I'm in the Canvas app designer. It's added data sources. We have our welcome screen and this few other things. Of course, all of the tools that we have in our Canvas app designer are available to us. It is the app designer. We can even take a quick preview of the app here. Take a look at things. Here's the speakers, that kind of thing. So again, it built this app fairly quickly. We don't have to do that. We can see this on the different screen sizes. Let's see what it looks like on an Apple iPhone X. So yeah, even some of those things like the containers and stuff, it maybe not perfect, but again, it's a starting point, right? So this is something pretty cool. Again, creating all of these tedious things. From a customer perspective, we can actually take their specs and probably within a workshop of a couple-hour workshop, begin to show them something very tangible of what can be built on the Power Platform, and something very usable. Give them something to react to a lot faster. So those cycles in terms of building an app are going to be shortened, which is really cool because that can get them up and running a lot faster. And then we can start iterating on more of the cool stuff. So again, this is not going to take your job. It's going to take that boring, tedious stuff, compress it down. Let's get into phase 2, the cool stuff, a little bit quicker. All right, so I'm going to go back. And if we made some changes, of course, we could save those changes. It's going to add that to the solution. And one thing you're going to be finding each time you leave your app designer, you're going to be taken back to the home page. Now your plan hasn't gone away. We can always go back to it. You see here my plans here. Click on the little pencil icon and we're back to where we left off. Last thing, we looked at model-driven apps. We've looked at the Canvas apps. Let's take a quick look at the Power Automate flow. So here we are, like I said, December 2024. We don't have cloud flows yet. It will create the stub, so you know that cloud flows are coming. Like I said, this is preview, but at this point, it is not creating cloud flows yet. So if you like building Power Automate flows, plenty of work still for you to do. The plan designer won't do this yet. So again, it's evolving. Like I said, this is early preview. It's only in pre-release environments. I'm sure it will just get better over time. The other cool thing too here is while we're here, take a look at the solution. We see that we have our plan is solution aware. We have a new asset called plan and different plan artifacts in terms of the apps and the flows and that type of thing. So kind of meta within a solution, so we can actually, if we're working on a plan and we want to move this to another environment, we should be able to do that using regular ALM solution movement processes. So overall, Plan Designer is pretty cool. I encourage you to check it out. Spin up a test environment, try to load up some images, type of things. Maybe some projects you're already currently working on, just sort of see what the Copilot will come up with. It's not going to be perfect. There's a lot of things. It's still, like I said, it's preview. For things I would like to see, I would like it to be able to see common data model, tables, accounts, contacts, activities, incorporate those into the app. I'd also love to see Power Pages, the ability to create a Power Pages site. So like the thing like the event registration, that thing, it would be very cool if that could generate the Power Pages site, take a lot of that tedious work out of it as well. And of course, having the Power Automate flows. Also be cool to maybe generate some analytics, some maybe Power BI reports, some other reports, some dashboards. Maybe I'm asking too much, but for building an app, of course, like I said before, don't start just buying the blank canvas. Put a plan together, and this is a great way to put a plan together. A few other things I'd like to see. I'd love to see this incorporated with Azure DevOps. I'd love to be able to just have a button up here that I could just generate that proposal into a Word document or a PDF that I could give to my customer so they have something tangible to sign off on. Again, check out the new feature. Hope you enjoy it. Look for more videos in 2025.